Maybe this morning you stood in a doorway, hands on the frame, trying to remember why you came in. Maybe a familiar name hovered on the tip of your tongue like a bird that will not land. It is unsettling, isn't it? Not a crisis, but a quiet worry that creeps in between errands and coffee, a whisper that says your mind is not quite as quick as it used to be. If you are nodding along, you are in the right place, and you are not alone. What you are feeling is human. It is also changeable. Today, we are going to walk together through 5 simple, daily habits that do something remarkable. They help your brain think younger. No miracle cures, no expensive treatments, no complicated routines you will abandon next week. Just clear, evidence-based strategies you can begin today, small moves that build into real momentum, sharpening recall, lifting mental fog, and bringing back that lively confidence you used to take for granted. Think of this as tuning a favorite instrument that has gone a little out of key. With the right touch, it brightens again. Your brain is adaptable. It wants to learn, to connect, to light up, and when you give it the right signals consistently, gently it responds. You will feel it in the way words come easier, in the way your attention holds steady, in the way a room no longer feels like a maze of forgotten intentions. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, you will discover a practical path forward. By the end of this video, you will have a clear, usable roadmap to a younger, sharper brain and the quiet relief of knowing exactly what to do next. 1. Daily movement. There is a habit so simple that it is easy to overlook, yet when practiced regularly, it feels as though you are turning back the dial on the brain's age. No expensive device, no dramatic change required. Only a comfortable pair of shoes and the decision to rise. In our journey, 5 daily habits that help seniors think younger, we begin with the very first habit, daily movement. Think of it as a can of WD-40 on a lock that has not been oiled in years. With just a few sprays in the right places, everything flows again. Your brain is no different. When your body moves, blood is pushed toward the hippocampus, the memory vault of the brain, and BDNF arrives like tiny seeds, planting the promise of new neurons. It is not magic, it is biology. But it does require you to begin. Mayo Clinic has followed older adults and discovered something encouraging. Walking for 150 minutes a week can lower the risk of mild cognitive decline by 35%. That number is not meant to pressure you, but to remind you that each step today is an investment in tomorrow's memory. If 30 minutes sounds out of reach, do not let your mind surrender before the starting line. Begin humbly. After lunch, walk 1 loop around your block. Next week, add another. The week after, add again. From those small circles on the sidewalk, you are sketching fresh pathways in your brain. There will be days when knees creak and ankles whisper that the body has weathered many seasons. That is all right. Water is a kind companion. Swim in the pool to relieve your joints, or follow a chair exercise routine while watching the news. What matters is not the speed of your steps, but the clear signal you send. We still want to learn, to remember, to remain sharp. Each time you finish, clap for yourself. That tiny gesture is like sticking a note to the wall of your brain. Keep going, we are renovating. You may feel a difference in the very first week, not because your memory suddenly becomes superhuman, but because the fog across your forehead begins to lift. Where once you stumbled over names, now you speak them more completely. Where once you entered a room and forgot why, now you hold on to the thread of intention. These changes are quiet, but they accumulate like compound interest. Ignore movement, and the door of memory rusts shut. Place your hand on the knob each day, and the hinge turns smoothly again. If you are wondering when is the best time to start, the answer is today. No complicated measuring, no elaborate app. After lunch, stand up, close the door behind you, and walk a loop. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Next week, add another loop. When knees complain, switch to water or your familiar chair. At the end, smile and clap. You have just done something vital for your future. You sprinkled BDNF across the garden of memory, watered the hippocampus, and reminded your brain that age is only a number, while the youth of your thinking is the habit you choose each day. 2. Eating with variety. This afternoon, you may find yourself opening the kitchen cabinet, your hand moving almost by habit toward a package of cookies or a salty bag of chips. Quick, convenient, no thinking required. But just before you tear it open, you suddenly remember how you stumbled this morning trying to recall a familiar name. That moment is like a small bell. Your brain is asking for quality, not just quantity. The brain consumes 1/5 of every calorie you eat, so every bite is a ballot cast for the clarity of tomorrow. If you sometimes feel memory slowing down, do not rush to blame age. Instead, take a closer look at your plate, and begin one simple habit: eating with variety. Eating with variety is not complicated like a restaurant menu. It is a painter's palette, where each color carries its own armor. The deep blue of blueberries brings in an army of antioxidants, quietly sweeping away free radical debris. The green of spinach delivers folate exactly where it is needed, like a patient mail carrier delivering letters to neurons. The coral pink of salmon strengthens the flexibility of nerve cell membranes, allowing signals to pass more smoothly. When these colors gather together, you are sending your brain a clear message: I will care for you with the very best. Do not take it on my word alone. The Journal of the Alzheimer's Association has highlighted a very down-to-earth model of eating called MIND, focused on leafy greens, berries, fish, nuts, and olive oil that can significantly slow cognitive decline. The numbers behind that conclusion are enough to make anyone sit up straighter, but what matters more is the feeling of control returning. No extreme diet, no complicated recipe, only the choice to give your plate more color each day. It begins so simply that it almost feels too simple. Trade one processed snack for a handful of walnuts, or pour a cup of frozen berries into a bowl. This small swap is like opening a window in a stuffy room. You bring into your body nearly 1,000 units of antioxidants each day, letting them travel quietly to do their work. And if your wallet is on your mind, frozen produce is the most loyal friend. Picked at peak ripeness, it keeps flavor and nutrients, yet often costs half as much as fresh. Your wallet breathes easier, and your brain smiles. You can begin at the very next meal. Open the freezer, take out the bag of blueberries, and sprinkle them over plain yogurt. Next time at the store, drop a bunch of leafy greens, a bottle of olive oil, and a bag of nuts into your cart. Perfection is not required. Consistency island. Each day, add one more shade of color. Each week, let go of one packaged food. Soon you will feel the fog thinning, names coming more easily, focus standing stronger on a page or in a conversation. I say this with deep respect for all the years you have lived. Age is not a sentence on memory. The plate in front of you is a gentle revision for your future. When you choose colors over monotony, real food over packages, you are voting for your own independence. Today, just one small swap. Tomorrow, you will thank yourself with a mind that is clearer, more flexible, more youthful. And that is how the simple, steady habit of eating with variety helps your brain to think young again. 3. Social connection. There are afternoons when the house is so quiet that you can hear the clock ticking. Silence can be soothing, but sometimes that stillness lingers until it wraps your thoughts in a thin fog. You open your mouth to share a funny story, only to realize you do not know whom to call. The feeling is not loud, but it lingers, and it does not only touch the heart, it touches memory. Data from Harvard reminds us of a blunt truth: older adults who are lonely face twice the risk of developing Alzheimer's. Not to frighten you, but to help you turn the wheel back toward a brighter lane. The brain is like a city ablaze when the lights come on all at once. A lively conversation can illuminate more neighborhoods at the same time than any crossword puzzle, even while you sip a fragrant espresso. When you listen, when you laugh, when you ask one more question, the folds of the brain open like windows to the breeze. Memory pathways are dusted off, dead ends suddenly reveal detours. No complicated philosophy required, only one human talking to another. So this week, give yourself a real appointment. Step into the local library for a book club, where one chapter opens 10 stories of life. Visit the community garden, touch the soil, hear each other's names carried in the scent of mint and ripe tomatoes. Or walk to the park and join a Tai Chi group, each slow motion pulling you gently out of the cocoon of silence. You do not need to become an extrovert overnight, you only need to show up. And if there is no club around you, do not wait. Open your contacts list while folding laundry. Busy hands, cheerful heart, neurons firing. A 10-minute phone call can soften an entire day. You tell your friend about the pile of socks missing their pair. They tell you about the maple tree turning red outside their window. Small stories like these are needles stitching back the fabric of connection that time had begun to fray. The goal is not to count acquaintances, but to nurture real encounters. Aim for 3 social interactions each week. With every added meeting, your risk of dementia drops by roughly 10%. The number is not a miracle, but it is a compass. It says that friendship, conversation, showing up for one another are paving stones that keep memory steady beneath your feet. And if today you can take only one small step, it is still the right step. There will be weeks when you are stuck at home. That is all right. On those days, call a charity hotline. They will call you back. You become useful, and the brain keeps working. Meaning is a rare vitamin. When you give your time and your care, you hand yourself a workout rich in cognitive energy. The mind glows the way a lamp does when the dust has been wiped away. You deserve a mind that is flexible, a memory that is warm, and a day lit by the sound of voices. Choose one appointment this week, or one phone call this very afternoon. Perfection is not required. Sincerity Island. From the moment you say, "Hello, how have you been?" the city within your brain begins to light up. And as the windows glow one by one, you will see, you are not only less lonely, you are also thinking younger, remembering more clearly, and living more confidently. 4. Quality sleep. You may have lived through nights like this. 3 in the morning, eyes wide open, your mind racing like a runaway train, while the glowing alarm clock reminds you that you are still awake. In that moment, it is easy to blame age, but the brain does not only grow old, it also waits to be cared for in the right way. During deep sleep, a delicate cleansing system, called the glymphatic network, goes to work, washing away waste linked to Alzheimer's like a midnight river. Without enough sleep, that dust lingers, and just one night of less than 6 hours can raise risk by around 5%. A small number may sound harmless, but built up over months and years, it becomes a serious reminder that sleep is not an accessory to brain health, it is the foundation. The solution begins with a simple but firm commitment, an evening ritual that is non-negotiable. When the clock strikes 9, the lights in your home should soften, as calm as a still lake. 30 minutes before bed, every screen must go dark, no more scrolling, no last episode. Then stand still, inhale deeply, and exhale slowly. Repeat 3 times, focusing only on the breath moving in and out. The rhythm steadies, cortisol fades, and the body understands. The day shift has ended, and the brain's cleaning crew is ready to begin. The bedroom itself is a message to the nervous system without words. Keep the temperature around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, about 20 Celsius, like a cozy autumn home. Night belongs to darkness. Do not let the glow of a clock press against your eyelids. Do not let tiny lights anchor you to wakefulness. When light retreats, melatonin rises. When cool air surrounds you, the body loosens. These small adjustments are like oil on a hinge. The door of sleep sticks less, swings open more easily. But if you still wake at 3 in the morning, do not panic. Shift the signal gently. Begin the 4-7-8 breath. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Repeat, letting each long exhale guide the body out of fight or flight and into rest and repair. You do not need to force yourself back to sleep, only offer the nervous system a soft break. When the mind stops rushing, sleep drifts back on its own. 8 hours is ideal, but every ideal is built on practical steps. If last night brought only 6.5 hours, tonight aim for 30 minutes more. Just half an hour is enough to turn back the age of the brain, not through magic, but as the reward of consistency. Each time you stay true to dimming the lights, shutting down screens, breathing slowly 3 times, keeping the room cool and dark, you are sending the hippocampus a gentle command: clean, repair, renew. I know there are days when exhaustion makes even a warm bed no match for restless thoughts. But it is in those days that gentle discipline matters most. You do not need expensive secrets or complicated gadgets. You only need a schedule you honor, a room that speaks silence, and a breath that leads the way. Begin tonight. 9 o'clock lights dim, no screens half an hour before bed, 3 deep breaths in and out. If you wake at night, return to 4, 7, 8. Tomorrow morning, you will rise with your head a little lighter, your memory a little clearer, and your faith in your own self-care a little stronger. And those little changes, night after night, will help you think younger, live more deliberately, and preserve the independence you hold dear. 5. Learning something new. Have you ever noticed that you have become so good at something that you no longer learn anything from it? You finish a crossword as smoothly as sipping a cup of tea, quick, effortless, without a stumble. That mastery feels like an achievement, but for the brain, too much familiarity is like walking the same worn-out road. If you want to think young, you need to turn the wheel slightly and take a new path. That is when the habit of learning something completely new enters the story. Not a life overhaul, just a gentle shift, a fresh detour. Novelty is like a rainy day fund for the brain. Each time you step into the unfamiliar, switching your crossword into Spanish on a free app, or sketching with your non-dominant hand, the brain is forced to stretch new wiring, build extra bridges, and store cognitive energy to face surprise. Over time, that reserve becomes armor against the blows of aging. And this is not just a feeling. A long-term study of older adults showed that those who embraced new hobbies cut their risk of dementia by a remarkable margin. The number stands like a glowing signpost, reminding us that every step outside the comfort zone carries a real reward. But how do you begin without quitting by day 2? The answer is simpler than you think. Choose a skill that makes your eyes light up at the mention of it: guitar, coding, anything that has teased your curiosity for years, and set it right after breakfast as a small appointment with yourself. Just 15 minutes, repeated. No need for perfection, no need for accolades. What we are chasing is not the badge of mastery, but the gentle stretch of neurons. Like tuning a string on a guitar, each day a little more, each day the note rings clearer. There will be mornings when your fingers fumble on the fretboard like new recruits, when your code refuses to run, when your line on paper wobbles crooked. Do not give up. When you feel frustration rising, smile instead. That is a good sign. Your brain is doing push-ups under pressure, growing the fine muscles of thought. Hang a calendar where you can see it and mark an X every day you show up. The chain of X's will build momentum, and momentum will carry you through the lazier mornings. If you have ever thought, I am too old to learn something new, try changing the name of what you are doing. You are not training to become a musician or an engineer. You are maintaining your brain. Every Spanish word recalled, every guitar chord struck, every left-handed sketch finished is one more brick added to your bridge of cognitive reserve. The bricks may be small, but laid consistently, the bridge becomes strong enough to carry you across the unpredictable turns of memory. Begin tomorrow morning. After your meal, sit in your usual place, set a short timer, open that crossword app in another language, or pick up the pen with your non-dominant hand, or touch the guitar you love. When the timer ends, stand up and draw a bold X. Do it again the next day, and the next. With every X, you will feel new pathways opening, attention holding longer, memory gripping tighter, confidence returning. And one day, you will smile and realize, you did not just learn a new skill, you gave your brain a reason to grow young again. Perhaps at the beginning of this video, you asked yourself whether your mind is truly growing old, or simply missing the right guidance. Now, as our journey comes to a pause, I want you to carry one short sentence with you, like a thread tied gently around your wrist. Your brain is not aging, it is waiting for instruction. The instructions are small, but powerful enough to change direction: daily movement, eating with variety, connecting with others, sleeping as if it were paying you, and learning something entirely new. There is no need to rush. Do them slowly, because it is in slowness that perfection often lives. When you soften, the brain hears you more clearly. Think of this as giving 5 simple commands. When commands are repeated, the calendar begins to turn backward, each square glowing brighter, each moment sharper. There is no loud miracle, only consistency. Each step you take, each colorful plate you prepare, each honest conversation you share, each respected night of sleep, each short lesson after breakfast, they all flow in the same direction, toward a brain that is younger, more flexible, more confident. And if today you manage to hold on to just one habit, that alone is enough to flip the first switch. Tomorrow, you can flip another. And if even one small idea has sparked in you, press the like button so others searching for their own daily key may see this path. Share this video with a friend who often forgets why they walked into the kitchen. Perhaps this is the gentle reminder they need. Leave a comment with the habit you will begin first, and together we will build a club of sharper minds, where each person adds an X to the chain of new days. Thank you for being here. Keep moving, keep learning, and I will see you in the next chapter. Until then, remember, as long as you give instruction, the brain will always answer.